Welcome back, range fans. Today we will theoretically test my ability to shoot 10mm and .357 Magnum accurately out of what I will most likely be carrying on my person for self-defense while on the trail. Many of you know I am a fanatic for revolvers, and I have 2 Ruger revolvers with me today I will be using to conduct this test. First in this test is this Ruger GP100 3-inch barrel .357 Magnum with fixed rear sight and black ramp front sight. A beautiful specimen it is. Next up is something relatively new, is this Ruger Match Champion 4-inch barrel and 10mm with U-notched white outline adjustable rear sight and green fiber optic front sight. Another well-made revolver by Ruger. Please note, in my area, for you bear seekers out there, there are no chances of me ever running into a grizzly. So this is not supposed to be about bear protection at all. In this admittedly simple head-to-head test, take into account these hand loads were produced after much research with quick load ballistic software and Western Powder's reloading manual, in an attempt to produce relatively about the same feet per second and foot-pounds of energy out of each individual revolver with different length barrels. To accomplish this, it required loading .357 Magnum near its top end out of the 3-inch barrel and 10mm at a relatively low end out of the 4-inch barrel. The feet per second that I am aiming for is 1,250 feet per second. I will shoot these loads across the chronograph and give you the foot-pounds as well as the feet per second. Ruger GP100 3-inch barrel .357 Magnum with 158 grain Hornady XTP bullets. .1288 582 foot-pounds. 1288 582 foot-pounds. 1304 596 foot-pounds. 1248 546 foot-pounds. 1311 602 foot-pounds. And 1269 564 foot-pounds. 1201 496 foot-pounds. 1218 510 foot-pounds. 1232 522 foot-pounds. 1265 550 foot-pounds. 1239 528 foot-pounds. And 1290 572 foot-pounds. The high of 1290, low 1201, average is 1240, extreme spread 89, with the standard deviation of 32. In developing these loads, I utilized Starline brass, CCI small pistol primers, CCI large pistol primers, accurate number 9 powder, and Hornady .357 158 grain XTP and Hornady 10mm 155 grain XTP. That comes closest to weight between the .357 Magnum and the 10mm, at least to what I had in stock. I plugged in the H2O case volume of both the .357 Magnum Starline case and the H2O case volume of the 10mm case for input into quick load ballistic software to help determine these loads that I will be using today. Determining the case volume is comprised of simply filling the case with water, weighing it empty, and weighing it with water in it. And you take that number and plug it into the quick load ballistic software. Now, there are many ballistic gel tests you can find on YouTube for your own comparison on penetration and expansion. I am concluding, after watching many of these tests today, that advanced bullets, like those used in this test from Hornady, if loaded at the right feet per second and used for the right task, will perform respectively. Now, let's get on with the testing, and let's see how I do with 10 millimeter and 357 Magnum.
Ruger Match Champion, 10 millimeter, Hornady 155 grain XTP, loaded on top of 14 grains of accurate number 9. Which would you rather have on the trail, 10 millimeter or 357 Magnum? Ruger GP100 357 Magnum, 158 grain Hornady XTP, loaded on top of 13.5 grains of accurate number 9. Should be about the same velocity as the 10 millimeter. I'm testing for shootability, trying to determine which one I'd like to have on the trail with me out in the bush. Based on that, I think the 10 millimeter is a little bit more control, or I have a little bit more control over the 10 millimeter. Tell me what you guys think, 357 Magnum or 10 millimeter?
Mr. Revolver Guy, dayattherange.com.